Hello and welcome back to ERU, where we round up the biggest talking points from around European football. Joining me as ever, it's Pato. We're going to dive straight into it because we've got a big game to kick it off with. It's Lazio at the suggestion of Hannah's 84 pad.
Yes, well obviously Lazio were playing Inter Milan in the big tie of the weekend and they beat them 2-1 to leapfrog them into second in Serie A. The victory stretches their unbeaten run now to 19 games. They've only dropped 4 points since mid-October.
It's great stuff.
That's absolutely wild. But the game could have gone either way. Lazio had 48% possession. It was 11 shots to Lazio, 10 to Inter. And if you take out the penalties, then XG read just 0.76 to 0.66 in Lazio's favour.
So not a thriller.
Extremely fine margins. But it was a penalty, of course, that proved the turning point. Ciro Immobile's spot kick levelled the game on 49 minutes after Ashley Young scored a really nice goal, actually, to put Inter ahead in the first half. That's Immobile's 26th league goal in 24 appearances this season. He's just 3 away from matching his personal best of 29 set 2 years ago.
Amazingly consistent as well, because this is his 4th year of over 20?
I mean, it's obscene.
Crazy.
It's actually obscene. And then Sergei Milinkovic-Savic kind of passed in to put the hosts ahead 19 minutes later. His 4th strike of the campaign proved enough to secure that vital 3 points. He's now matched his goal involvements, Milinkovic-Savic, for the previous season with 8, and he was a man of the match here with 3 shots, 1 key pass, completing both of his dribbles, winning 7 aerial duels, and he hit the crossbar. Have you seen this shot?
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
So nice.
If it had gone in, it would have been unreal. But yeah, well done to him.
Yeah, well done to him. And there's been lots of rumours now about what might happen with him in the summer. I mean, we're used to this now. But he's been linked once again with Man United, who almost look certain to lose Paul Pogba in the summer. United have long admired the Lazio midfielder, and Tuttosport are now claiming he could be secured for as low as 70 million euros, which, considering they might sell Pogba for about 120 to 150, I would imagine. That is a great bargain in my eyes anyway. And he has a contract until 2024, so makes it even better on their account, United that is. Meanwhile, other reports are suggesting Juventus could be willing to offer both Aaron Ramsey and Adrien Rabiot as part of the deal to bring Pogba back to Italy.
That would be amazing.
Which would be fantastic business from United again.
So
I just can't see either of these deals happening, because you know what United are like with getting deals over the line. But we want to know from you guys which of the deals you think is better in the comments down below. But anyway, back to the game. This was Inter's first away loss of the season and first league defeat since October, when they were beaten 2-1 by Juve at the San Siro. And this result couldn't have come at a worse time. They travelled to Turin, in 2 weeks, which could be a potential title decider. And their form has been a little bit inconsistent since about December. They've dropped a lot of points. Another loss here, slightly concerning, but still a fantastic season from them. Lazio, meanwhile, remain just 1 point behind leaders Juventus and possess the best goal difference in the division, which is plus 34. But can you see them winning a first league title in 20 years, Pat? It probably seems like maybe a little too early for that. But what a season from them.
Yeah, it's been great from them, but I don't think they're good enough. Like, I think Inter are better than them. I think Juve are better than them. I actually think Atalanta are better than them as well. So, well done to them. Like, they're having a tremendous season, but I think this is only going to spoil the race as opposed to kind of tilt it in Lazio's favour.
Yeah, definitely. And their lack of depth might come in at the end of the year as well, which could be a factor. But guys, we want to know from you, who's winning Serie A? Get it down in the comments down below. Let's move on to our first loser. Before we move on to our next section, just a quick reminder to subscribe to EuroFootball Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss an ERU.
Our first losers of the week also come from Italy. It's Roma, courtesy of @lazy__hobbit horrendous. What happened to Roma? Because it was pretty horrendous for them as well.
Yeah, it wasn't good. 3rd league defeat in a row, losing 2-1 in a visit to Atalanta, further denting their Champions League hopes. Edin Dzeko actually gave Roma the lead on the stroke of half-time, capitalising on a poor touch from Palomino to score from 20 yards. Really nice finish, well worth checking out after this. Jose Luis Palomino, made up for his error though, converting from a corner just after the restart. And the winner came from Mario Pasalic, get this, who came on from Zapata in the 59th minute and scored 18 seconds later.
Yeah.
Lovely curled finish. Goal. Really good goal. It was a game of good goals, actually. And it was a solid 30-minute salvo from Pasalic, who completed 100% of his passes and won 2 tackles and made an interception on his time on the pitch. And it was a deserved win for Atalanta too. They had 13 shots to Roma's 8, 1.6 XG to 0.29, and almost 60% possession. Pat, though, worrying times for Fonseca's men, though.
Yeah, their form has fallen away at exactly the wrong time of the season. They're obviously pushing for Champions League football, but where they previously had a lead on Atalanta, it's now been completely overturned and they're comfortably down in 5th. They've lost their last 3, lost 5 of their last 7, and have just 4 points in that period.
Bleak.
This record of 0.29 XG from 8 shots at the weekend is their second lowest total this season. The previous one, though, was at least against Inter in a game they got a point out of when they drew 0-0. They had 0.21 XG in that match. I mean, it feels like they have been unlucky. If you look at those 5 recent defeats, they actually had a higher XG than their opponent in 3 of them. Juventus, Sassuolo and Bologna. I don't know, Sassuolo and Bologna, like the margin was actually pretty small. It was like 0.5 XG, whereas Juve, they were way better off. But you could argue again, it's because you go down early and then you're just racking up shots for the rest of the game. I don't know, it's hard to see what's going on with them. Anyway, 6 points behind Atalanta. Verona and Parma are now 4 points behind Roma. So, I don't know. I don't think they'll get dragged down into the pack. But I also, now that Atalanta are ahead of them, unless Atalanta go on a madness in the Champions League or something, it's extremely hard to see Roma catching anybody ahead of them.
For sure. Just turning at the wrong time for them. After such a solid start from Fonseca, they looked so good for the first 3 months. But really damaging, yeah.
Well, at least they've got Lecce coming up next. But on the other hand, Atalanta have Sassuolo. So I'm not particularly hopeful for them.
And Lecce got a point against Inter Milan a couple of weeks ago as well. So worrying times for the Giallorossi. What is going wrong, guys? Dissect it in the comment section below. Our second winner is Marseille, probably for its first time on EOU this season. Good inclusion from Pato, who wrote this section. And this came in from Reckless OM.
Yeah, Marseille went 11 points clear of 3rd place in Ligue 1 with a 2-1 away victory over 4th placed Lille. A really big result for them. AVB side went behind shortly after half-time to, who else? Victor Osimhen, his 13th goal of the season.
Lovely finish.
It is, and then they could have got back on level terms pretty quickly. They had a penalty, but Valentin Rongier missed the chance to get them back on level terms, seeing his penalty saved by Mike Maignan. However, a couple of minutes later, in this 3-minute period, I think between the 66th and 69th minute, there was a Reinildo own goal, which made it 1-1, and then a Dario Benedetto strike turned things around.
Oh, brutal.
They only had 5 shots in this game, Marseille, to 13 for Lille, but the XG was 1.5 to Marseille and 1.1 to Lille.
What were Lille's centre-backs doing? Were they just like, come in,
They're
welcome?
Literally, it's pretty much 2 massive chances, basically. Anyway, OM are now closer to PSG in 1st with a 10-point gap than they are to Rennes in 3rd with an 11-point gap after Thomas Tuchel's side's insane 4-4 draw with Amiens at the weekend. So it looks like Champions League football is coming back to... Is it still the Stade Velodrome or have they renamed it?
Stade Velodrome. I still think it is, actually.
I feel like they're constantly renaming
Have they corporately sold it out somewhere?
Yeah.
Like a sportsdirect.com arena.
Yeah, exactly. Let's call it that.
Anyway, Marseille, have lost the same amount of games as PSG, just 3 all season, have conceded just 1 goal more than the Parisians 2. However, they are getting more than a little lucky, so XG suggests they have the 5th best attack and 8th best defence in the division, and should have a goal difference of +5, it's actually 13. They're 13.5 points ahead of where expected points would predict them to be too. The only sides with a bigger positive swing across Europe's top 5 leagues this season, are Newcastle and Liverpool. Very surprised that Newcastle, XG suggests they're the 20th in the Premier League.
XG suggests that they are absolutely horrific,
dreadful,
but they're probably going to stay up.
Well, just about, although they did, capitulate somewhat yesterday. But AVB has massively improved Marseille. They take 13.4 shots a game. Not amazing, but 3rd best in Ligue 1 and allow just 9.7, the 2nd best behind Angers. And they'll now have a chance to consolidate their place with 3 lower half teams in their next 3 fixtures, Nantes, Nîmes and Amiens. And it feels like this has been a sort of great vindication of AVB's sort of career, because obviously he had to go to Zenit to sort of rebuild. But I always felt he was quite harshly treated, particularly with Spurs stint. Was actually pretty solid in England. So it'll be interesting to see whether anyone goes for AVB this summer, where there could potentially be a lot of manager jobs on the line somewhere, maybe back to the Prem. But guys, Marseille fans, what did you make of this? How happy are you with your progress this season? Let us know down below, and let's move on to our final loser.
Second and final losers of the week are Werder Bremen. This comes from Schimzer. What happened? I literally don't know what happened to Werder Bremen.
A lot of weird acts today. Anyway, Werder Bremen lost 3-0 to RB Leipzig at
Oh,
home.
I did know about that. So there we go.
And they has not done them any favours in the league tables. They now sit in the relegation zone, 5 points off safety.
Ooh.
Bleak. They currently have the worst form in the Bundesliga, having lost 4 on the bounce. Statistically, though, this game was fairly matched. Werder had slightly less possession with 48% and took 8 shots to RB's 10. However, they had no quality chances, as XG rated them at 0.24, with RB at 2.46.
Bloody hell.
Davy Klaassen seemed to be the only player on the pitch that was really prepared to put his sort of neck on the line. He made 5 tackles and interceptions and completed 2 key passes, the most for his team. And things don't get any easier for Werder Bremen either, as they face Dortmund next week, who continue to pile in the goals, although hopefully they might be a bit tired from their game against PSG this week, which should be really interesting. But Pat, let's get on to RB Leipzig, because good performance for them.
Yeah, and a really good performance for Dani Olmo as well. His set-piece delivery was crucial in this game. First found Patrick Schick, who was able to then grab an assist, and then found Schick again, who headed in from a corner. So with a goal and an assist now, Schick has 8 goal contributions in just 7 starts this season.
Great stuff.
Absolutely ridiculous. And Konrad Laimer as well, who I've just been writing about for a scout report, a stellar performance in midfield, 6 tackles and interceptions, and getting an assist, came off for Ethan Ampadu in the 60th minute, who then went on to make 5 tackles in half an hour.
Ampadu's clearly pumped up by his lack of action.
Yeah, Ampadu must have just been charging around like a maniac, just killing people. However, Nordi Mukiele was probably the man of the match. Got a goal, 2 key passes, and 7 tackles and interceptions.
Great finish as well.
For a defender, it's absolutely unreal. The 22-year-old has been vital this season, playing at right wing back, at right back, at centre back,
wherever you want,
moving all over the place. But then again, everyone kind of has as well. Like Tyler Adams has played right back, like Konrad Laimer has played right back previously. It just feels like they've got a squad full of guys.
Centre back.
Yeah, it's just a squad full of guys who can always do a job somewhere. It's so good. Anyway, this win sees RB just a point behind league leaders Bayern Munich, and they've got Spurs in the Champions League on Wednesday in a pretty exciting fixture, and then go to 6th place Schalke on Saturday. So a big week for them. Their hopes in both competitions on the line. But congratulations to them. Werder Bremen, you need to sort it out.
Right, it's time for Star of the Week. And this week, again, similar to Marseille, first time he's probably been included in the Star of the Week after a pretty dreadful campaign. It's Suso at the suggestion of Fode 4-2-0.
Okay, yeah, the Spaniard scored 1 and assisted another as Sevilla drew 2-2 at home with La Liga's bottom club, Espanyol. The Andalusians opened the scoring through Lucas Campos after a quarter of an hour. An absolutely sensational left-footed cross from Suso, by the way. Cuts in from the right, floats it over to the back stick, and the Argentinian headed home for his 7th of the season. Unbelievable.
iPad getting thrown around.
Well, this one's already broken. However, Espanyol came back to lead through Adrien Mbarba and Woulé, leaving it to Suso to rescue a point with a left-footed drive into the bottom corner, obviously from outside the box. Like, he's never scored from inside the box, Suso. But ended the game with 2 shots, both on target, as well as 6 chances created and 5 dribbles completed. The latter 2 both match highs.
Lovely. And that means that in 195 minutes of action in La Liga, he now has 1 assist away from matching his tally in 1,400 minutes for Milan over the first half of the season. So that's what we're talking about. Wasn't good for Milan, but good start at Sevilla. Hopefully he can pick up, because it's quite unfair when you see players effectively bullied online relentlessly, which Suso was by AC Milan fans for the first half of the year. But it was a big missed opportunity for Sevilla, though. A win could have taken them level with 3rd place Getafe after the Madrid side lost to Barcelona and Atleti drew with Valencia. And also, shouts out to Federico Chiesa, who scored twice and hit the woodwork twice in Fiorentina's 5-1 battering of Sampdoria. Another player who looks like he could be ready for a move this summer, Chiesa. Unlike Suso, who probably just needs to stick in Andalusia for a little bit and rebuild that career.
So that's all we've got time for on this week's Euro Roundup. Thank you for your suggestions. Dukes, is there anything that people should do after watching this?
Yes, please go check out our Stat Wars The Champions between Jacko and Will Brazier. Funny as ever, Will Brazier, which came out on EFD on Saturday. And go check out Continental Club from Friday as well. And yeah, leave your comments. Have a good day. We'll see you later.